Hello over there, how you doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to create a shopping list example. Get ready over there. So the outcome of our shopping list will look like something like this. So we're going to create a shopping list. At any time we want to add an item to our shopping list, we will write the name of the item and the outcome of the item will be here. So let's get started. From here, we will go step by step to see how to make it. It is not so complicated. Here we go. So at the beginning, we need to put a header for our shopping list and give it a name. So let's use h1 element tag. h1 here, we can give the name of our shopping list. For example, my shopping list. Let's write it. My shopping list here. And after this, we need a div element tag. Inside this div, we will have our different label, input, and button. So those three elements will be the child of this div here. We need to have a label for our list. Let's say label element here, and the closing tag for the label. So we can give a name for this label. For example, let's say enter a new item. Enter a new item like this. And we need an input element here. Import. And at the end we need again a button element tag. So the button will be, for example, add item, because we need to add different items to our shopping list. Add item. So here we need an attribute called for. Can give it this value item, and the input here we're going to go with this attribute type. So text, because we're going to write something in a text mode. So text. And the second attribute for input here will be, for example, name. Give it the value of item. And ID attribute also item, like this. So let's come down here, and we need to put our list items inside an ordered list element tag called UL. So this UL will have our list items. The list item will be the child of this unordered list, which we write here by UL. So right now we can save this one and see the outcome over here. Yes, now we have my shopping list. From here, our header, and we have enter a new item here. We can also add some column here to make it look better. Now we have this column, enter a new item, and we have now the input here. We can add a new item. We can say apple, and we have this add item. Let's press this button here. So as you can see, we cannot add anything right now because we need first the HTML and the JavaScript so that we can add items as a list here, as list items over here. Anytime we write something in the input and we press this add button, the add button is here. So right now there is nothing over there. Let's come here and see how can we start writing the code of this JavaScript different line of codes. First of all, we have to create 3 different variables that hold references to this unordered list element, to the input and to the button. So let's start by writing the variable const list, for example, the name of this first variable equals to document dot. What we want to do, we need a query selector method to select this. So query selector method, and we give it this parameter list, unordered list. So we need for the input and for the button also. Come down here. Yes, we'll give this the second name of this variable. Here we can say input, for example. Input, and here also input, and down here we can write button, our third variable here, and also button as the parameter of this query selector. Yes, now is a pretty good start, so we can now go down here and try first to create a function that will run in response to the button being clicked. Anytime this button is being clicked, we need this value here, like the name Apple, to be listed here. And if it is here and we add something else like tomato, bananas, or something else, those list items must be listed somewhere over here. So let's come here. We create the function. To create the function, we need to attach it to this button because we need to press always this button. To press it, we need something called add event listener on click. So let's come here and put on click. This is the event listener trigger. Can be equals to the event listener handler anonymous function here. It can come like this, and inside this function now we can start off by, for example, storing the current value of the input element in a variable. So let's define this variable like new item equals to an input value, for example. Yes, input value. So anytime this is done, we need to get this place also empty. When we press here, this apple is listed here. We need the input to be also empty again so that we can put something else. Let's come here. We put this input value to an empty string. Let's say input.value equals to an empty string. Yes, now it's good. But right now we need again to create. Let me come here. We need to create 3 new elements. Those 3 new elements will be a list item. The second one will be a span, and the third one will be a button. And we store them in variables. So let's say here the first variable, let's say item list, the name of this variable. Item list here equals to document dot, we create an element, we need a create element method. So create element method, so we will grab this list item as a stringify value. It will be the parameter of this create element. So we need two more variables down here. We can copy like this and come here. For example, we need for span element and for button, so we can give different names here so that it will work. First we have item list, second we can have here item text, for example. Yes, item text is not bad. And third we can have item button, for example. We can abbreviate button to BTN. Yes, now is good. So let's continue. So next here we need to append this span here. We need to append it and the button as child of the list item. Let me say it again. We are going to append the span and the button as child of the list item. So let's come here and grab this. The variable holding this span here is item text. So we need, yes, item text. We will need to append those one to a child. For that we will start by the item list here. Item list dot a method called append child. Now we are going to append this span. We will put the variable here, this variable item text inside. Item text, yes. Now it's going pretty well. So that we are going now down here, we will take this item text here, chain it to a method called text content. Item text dot text content. So this will be equal to any new item we will put in our input. So this will be equal to a new item here. This method here. So let's put it here and continue. Yes. And down here we are going to set the text content of the span to the input element value we have saved earlier, and the text content of the button to delete. So let's say item list down here, item list here, and appended this method append child. We will get this item button being here in the append method. Let's go like this, item button here. Yes, and we take this item button here, item button attached to a text content. So this will be equals to, let's say, a string value called, maybe let's say delete. If we want to delete any item, we will put next to it this delete button. Delete will be next to every item we will add. So let's go down here. If I can explain, if we add this apple down here in front of it or next to it will be a button called delete. So anytime we want to delete this, we will just press this button. So that's why it is like this item button.text content. Yes, let's continue. And now we need to append the list item as a child of the list. Yes, so we need this list here. The first variable we have here, we append it to item list. Let's bring this append child method and the item list. Here we go. Now it is appended here. So the list item as a child of the list. And down here we need again an event listener, so that the event listener will know anytime we press delete, it will delete whatever item we want to delete. For that we need this event listener attached to this item button here, to this delete button. Let's come here to item button here. We use again this same on-click event listener trigger name here. On-click because we need to click and equals to an anonymous function. Let's say like this, and inside this anonymous function, the function is the event listener handler, which will handle after any click. Here's the button, we do the click, then this function content or the function will do the rest. So we have to define what the function is going to do. Come down here, we grab this list, yes, variable, and we chain it to a method called remove child. So we will remove any child like that, and the child will get this item list, the item list which is the one we want to remove. Yes, and let me save this and we will see if it is working or if we have to check if there are some mistake or not. Let's save this again. Let's add this. Yes, here we go. Now we have Apple here. As you can see, when I press it, we don't have the name Apple over here, and we have this delete button next to it. Let me try to add something else. Let's say tomato, or yes, we have the second here item. Let's press this delete and this delete and see if this one is working, this item button dot on click here. Let me click this first. Yes, now it's going off. This one is going. So here, as you can see, we need also to focus. Anytime we add something, we need this button, this place to be ready. For that, we have to come here and say the input to be ready. For that to be ready, we have to write like this: input chain to this method called focus method. Focus. Yes. Let's come here. Let reload. We add here something. let's write banana, and we add this, as you can see. So it's already ready, so we have just to write something else if we want to write. And let me write something else here. And what can I write here? So let's say onions item. As you can see here, there is no big space between those items. We can do some kind of styling here in our style or in our CSS part of this. We can come here, for example, let me come here, and we can first get this selector, the list item selector. Inside here, you can say margin, like the margin bottom for the list item. I can say this, what we want. How many values or how many pixels do we want? Maybe 10 pixels. Oh, 10 is too much. Oh, let's say 15 pixels here, and save it. Let's see if it's going to work very well. Banana here, apple here. As you can see, this margin button is making the difference here. It's very good, so that we will not put all the things next to each other. And we can also do some kind of the font size and the margin left here. We can do something here. Let's come here for the list item, for example, selector and the button, because the button, we need the font for the button. Come here, let's say the font size. How much do we want for the font size here? We can, for example, put 10 pixels for the font size, and the margin left, for example, margin left, not right, we need the left one here. We can say how many pixels, 30 pixels or 25 pixels. You can put whatever you want just to see how the layout will be. We can also put the color. It's also a nice thing to see how the color will be. Say color. We're going to put green or this cape blue. Let's put this one and save here. We reload over here, and let me put this apple again. As you can see, we have the color for this button. The color is from this one, and also the font, and we have this, the margin left also here. Now things is going pretty good, but for the delete we have to put, for example, red. Let me put red, for example, because we are deleting it. Yes, apple here, red. If we want to delete them, let's say banana added, let's delete them. Yes, let's delete. Yes, thank you so much, guys. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Bye bye.